What's up, everybody? It's Jay, and welcome to True Crime and Conspiracy Zone. I hope you're having a good morning, day, evening, or night, depending what time it is, wherever you are. In this video, we're going to get into the results of the Harvey Hustler's federal criminal indictment. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes. We are in no way glorifying any of these crimes or gang life. Hopefully, one of our videos will help somebody out one day. Crime and addiction affects more than just the people involved. It affects families and communities across the world. Harry Smoot pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. The judge emphasized at the sentencing that in the federal system, there is no parole. Smoot was also ordered to pay restitution to the victim's family. Lance Singleton pled guilty and was sentenced to 228 months imprisonment, 5 years of supervised release. Frankie Hookfin was sentenced to 35 years imprisonment. Ray Woodruff pled guilty and was sentenced to 360 months imprisonment and 5 years supervised release. Isaac Smith pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. Terrence Kelly pled guilty and was sentenced to 40 years imprisonment. Clifford Sonia pled guilty and was sentenced to 160 months imprisonment and 5 years of supervised release. Andre Addison pled guilty and was sentenced to 87 months, followed by 5 years of supervised release and a $100 special assessment fee. Joquel Lewis was sentenced to 120 months imprisonment. Christopher Brown pled guilty and was sentenced to 132 months imprisonment and 5 years of supervised release. Richard Thomas pled guilty and was sentenced to 50 months imprisonment and 4 years of supervised release. Terrell Wade pled guilty and was sentenced to 96 months imprisonment. This term of imprisonment shall run concurrently to the defendant's imprisonment under the 24 Judicial District Court, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana docket, followed by 5 years on supervised release. Melvin Hudson pled guilty and was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment and 10 years of supervised release. Jermaine Hudson pled guilty and was sentenced to 324 months imprisonment and 10 years supervised release. Travis Hudson pled guilty and was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment and 5 years supervised release. Moses Lawson pled guilty and was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment and 10 years supervised release. He was also ordered to pay restitution to the victim's family in the amount of $8,000. Monterio Wiggins pled guilty, was sentenced to 360 months imprisonment and 10 years of supervised release. Roderick Wiggins pled guilty and was sentenced to 14 years imprisonment and 5 years of supervised release. Dante Carson pled guilty and was sentenced to 30 years imprisonment and 5 years supervised release. Dwight Carson pled guilty and was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment and 10 years supervised release. Torrey Richardson pled guilty and was sentenced to 135 months imprisonment and 5 years supervised release. Tedrick Raynard was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment and 10 years on supervised release. Shane LeBlanc was sentenced to 6 years imprisonment and 3 years supervised release. Akee Sullivan was sentenced to 3 months probation along with 6 months home detention. Now that you know the end of the story, let me know down in the comments if you think the punishment fits the crime. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. It's a way you can help the channel out for free. And share this video out where you can. And until next time, have a good day.